Hey, what up, y'all? It's your boy Degenerate. I want to talk to y'all about risk tolerance so y'all can gamble today, tomorrow, and next year. I want y'all in the game as long as possible. And it's something that I want to cover that I wish people covered with me when I first started trading. Because it would have saved me a lot of time and probably a lot of capital. So I'm gonna hop right into the chart right here. I'm looking at Ethereum, Bitcoin, pairing on the weekly. Before I hop into this, it's something that you have to decide on your own. How much you'd like to risk per trade. And I'm gonna recommend that you risk the same amount on this trade as you do on your trade next week, as you will on trades next year. It could be a dollar amount. I risk a percentage amount of my total account. For me, that becomes 1%. It's a lot easier than me saying I'm gonna risk $50 or whatever else. I just know 1%, and I'm out of the trade. So I still have 99 or more other shots. If I'm only risking 1%, I'm never gonna get like fully. You're never gonna close your account. Actually, it can go down, but it's gonna be like a graph, and it's gonna go off like that, rather than going straight down, or rather than going down like that. It's gonna make a nice little even. We're eventually going to be tapered off to smaller and smaller and smaller losses because you're fucking up. On the flip side, once I decided that I wanted to risk 1%. I don't want to risk 2% of trade. I don't want to risk 5% of trade. I think that's way too much. And your trading fees when you're trading shit coins are already like 0.3, 0.4% sometimes to get in and out of a trade. If you're placing two trades with a 50% win ratio, that's one whole percent that you're already spending right there. So I'm okay with risking 1% a trade. I've been doing it for a while and I'm happy with the results. Of course, it depends on your own risk preference, risk tolerance. Don't listen to me for advice. TradingView has this position, this tool where you can enter in a long position or a short position and it will measure and do all the calculations for you. You can also divide where you're entering versus where your trade is going to be invalidated at and calculate your own risk to reward and how much you should be sizing in your account. But if you have a TradingView account, this is way easier. I recommend it to everyone. It's going to save you a lot of time. I always decide, one, where I'd like to enter. Where is my trade going to be perfectly, like where's a perfect entry for this shit? And if I decide that it's at this 259, then sick. Where's my trade going to be now invalidated at? If it drops below this low right here, I don't want to be in the trade. I could enter in the trade right here, 100%. I could wait and maybe never get filled, but enter in the trade right here. But so let's say I want to enter in the trade right here, because it always hits this range. You can enter in right there, and I say if it drops past that, it's going to be invalidated. I don't want to be in the trade. So you can see from my entry to my stop, that's going to be 14% with trading fees, like probably like 13.6, but 14%. So am I going to enter in half my account on this trade and lose 7%? No, I just said earlier, I only want to risk 1% of my account. So because it's 13, 14%, I'm for real going to risk like 7 or 8% of my account on this trade. And the flip side is, where is my target? It's been in this range. So are you shooting for the top of the range? In that case, you're looking at a 52% gain, and it's a 4-to-1 risk-reward ratio. Once it hits this 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio, I would probably start moving my stop up, so that you're one, not losing money on the trade, and it still fits my personal 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio. If I identified this trade and it wasn't a 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio minimum, I wouldn't enter the trade. If I was looking at this and let's say Ethereum was right here and my stop was down here and my target was right here and I saw that, I'd say, oh, okay, I just gotta skip over this trade. I'm rushing into it. There has to be some patience on your end. So if I'm down here and I'm entering, and I'm cutting around wherever that is, you know, you're getting about a 4-to-1 risk reward ratio. Depending on how close you have this stop, you'll notice your risk to reward ratio gets a lot better. So patience does pay off. You know, you can wait to see what happens when it hits this level. And if you want to get it a little bit lower, or you want to get it a little bit tighter of a stop, you know, you can size in more of your account, but that is what gambling is all about. So yeah, decide your target, decide where your trade's invalidated, but first decide where you're going to enter your trade. And if it's not at that 3-to-1, don't enter that trade. Hold out on something else. I keep stressing 3-to-1 because of trading fees. Let's say that you're trading on Coinbase, for instance. Okay, you're trading on Coinbase, and you're a maker. You have a maker fee, and you pay 0.1%. And if you're paying 0.1% just to enter in the trade, then if you're going to exit the trade successfully as a maker, you have, all right, let's see, 0.1, and then you have another 0.1. Now you're 0.2 in the hole. So if you are only trying to make 3% on a trade and you lost a trade and you lost the trading fees, so you were a taker on one of those because they hit your stop limit, you're now out 1.3% on that trade. So you only made 1.7%, not including the trading fees for the trade that you actually won. So again, you're gonna minus another 0.2%, and now you're at 1.5% of a gain. Still sick, you made that gain, but if you are only going for a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio, you would take off that 1 right there, and you would only have a 0.5% gain. That's a lot more trading than having a 3-to-1 or higher risk-reward ratio. And that's if everything goes your way. If you don't have a 50-50 win ratio, you're paying more in fees. If you have 2 stop limits in a row, then you're paying more in fees. If you don't have 100,000 in volume on Coinbase over a month, then you're going to be paying more in fees. And that just eats away at your profit. So if you're on Binance, if you're on BitMEX, if you're on Kraken or Durbit or whatever, they all have their own fees. And that's something that you have to keep in mind. But your 2-to-1 risk reward ratio, if you're only gaining 2% on your account with trading fees, you're not actually gaining 2% on the trade. You're gaining 25% of that. And that sucks. So be mindful of that shit. I think that's all I got today with talking about risk tolerance. I feel a lot better going to bed when I'm in a trade and I know that I'm only going to lose 1% of my account on any trade that I enter. And I hope that that brings you some comfort as well. If y'all have any questions or you want me to elaborate on anything, just reach out, leave them in the comments below. I'll give you a call on the phone and really walk you through it if you'd like me to. Yeah, other than that, stay safe trading. Degenerate out.